Hi, this is MrByZ, and today I got a new case of vintage collection action figures. This is the wave with Phasma, the Elite Praetorian Guard, Chewbacca, Rogue One Stormtrooper, Solo Lando, that wave. So let's go ahead and open this box and take a look.
This lovely box just showed up, so let's go ahead and open it up.
This wonderfully packed, as you can see, very well packed box of figures. It's just so much smaller than they used to be. I used to get all sorts of cases when I worked at Toys R Us of this stuff, but they're like a little bit taller, and they only hold 8 figures. Back then they hold 12 or 16 figures. What we have inside, we have 2 Chewbacca's on Star Wars card, 2 Stormtroopers on Rogue One card, 1 Praetorian Guard, Last Jedi card, 2 Solo Landos, and 1 Captain Phasma. We'll look through each of these individually. The Praetorian and Phasma I won't be opening up, as there's only 1 of each, and technically I already have those because they came in the Walmart stuff. So I'll start with these 2 that I'm not going to open. Phasma first. Phasma is actually one of my favorite characters. Not because she was great in the movies or anything. I just like the armor. I like that shiny Stormtrooper armor. It really stuck on me, and I bought a lot of Phasma stuff over the years. So to get a carded Phasma like this, I'm pretty happy. I actually have a custom card of Phasma. It's done a little differently. You can see the backs here. Is what we've got on the back. This is number 142. And yeah, the card looks nice. I always love vintage cards, so if they could do everything on vintage cards, I'd be quite happy with that. They're pretty nice. But this is just the same as the Walmart Super Articulated Black Series figure from, gosh, now 4 years ago, I believe. So nothing really new there. In fact, you could get them for pretty cheap there for a while. And then we have the Praetorian Guard, which is the same. We got this one with the with Walmart stuff too, and this was in 2000, I guess we'd say 2018, 2017, 2018. Again, nothing new to the figure, so there's not really a need for me to open this. I feel you can see the card back looks pretty cool. It almost looks like an airbrushed picture. It may just be the red on red the way it looks, but it very much reminds me of that vintage style airbrushed picture in some ways. And then next we have Lando, which, let's face it, that figure we got from the Force Link stuff for Lando from Solo, he was a very straight up and down figure, a very vintage style figure in some ways. So it's nice to get a super articulated version. We'll be taking a look at him in just a little bit. Fred, look at the back of the Praetorian, he's basically looking the same. But yeah, this is Lando here, and we have the Stormtrooper. We were awaiting this Stormtrooper. This is supposed to have the head from the Rogue One Stormtrooper with a super articulated body, so this should be really cool. I do wish the Rogue One packaging had the double racetrack like the original Star Wars cards. It just seems like it's deserving because it's right there next to Star Wars in some ways. And the back of that. And Chewbacca. Now this looks like a Chewbacca we've gotten before. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. If I remember correctly, it's the early bird Chewbacca from 2005. So, not a whole lot new, although I'm going to open one because you can always use another Chewbacca. And it's been a while since we've gotten him, so there's always another place to put a Chewie in my dioramas. And his back. Whoop. There we go. For those of you who bought one of these super articulated Chewbaccas in a while, you know these bowcasters can be kind of hard to get in the hand. For me, I have to slide kind of the long end of the stock into his hand and slide the whole thing then in there to get fit, because it fits really well, as you can see, but you have to kind of slide it into place in order to get there. The other weird thing is we've been getting these 2-piece bowcasters, and this isn't like the Force Link ones we've had where there's a little knob on the front to attach it. You actually slide it into this space right there to keep it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's very pliable to get it in there, but it just takes a little bit of work. Just a second. You see the front of the bowcaster is now in there. I had to slide the ball between the top of the gun here and then the inside of there to get in. You see it's still a little loose. Unless I'm doing this wrong. If somebody thinks I'm doing this wrong, you can certainly comment and say, hey, no, it's supposed to go like this. But that's the way I've been doing them for a while to get them in there. The Chewbacca figure, I like the face on this. This is why I'm pretty sure this is the early bird one. I remember the open mouth like that, which I did like. Lots of great articulation. At the time, they were starting to do this extra articulation like in the chest, and you have the layers of hair, which is pretty cool. The only unfortunate thing, I mean, this Chewy can hold his bowcaster with both hands. It's just the way the fur falls. So if, you know, you do like that, it looks fine, although on his hand it looks a little weird. And so if you get him, you know, raising his hand, he has hair standing straight up. That's kind of weird. But, you know, we're trying to get some realism to a figure that has a ton of hair. And that takes a little bit of work. You can see the feet. In fact, see what date does this say on the feet. It says 2004. Yeah, that would be the early bird one then. They did a Return of the Jedi one around the same time too. Just had a different head. See the paint job they did on the satchel. It looks good. It's a nice figure. His eyes look good. So we'll move on. Here's the Stormtrooper, and she's using that awesome helmet sculpt that we got with the Rogue One Stormtrooper. I know when that came out, a lot of us was like, we're just blown away by the head alone. Although mine's got a little, looks like paint defect on the back. Yeah, oh well. Guess mine's not completely clean. Remember at San Diego Comic-Con, Stephen Evans asked us if we wanted dirty or clean, and majority of people answered clean, so that's what we got, which is cool. It's mostly how we see Stormtroopers anyway. You can see it's just the super articulated Stormtrooper body. There may be some slight improvements. I noticed the elbow joints look actually pretty nice on this. See if that helps a little bit. See the elbow joints there. They look pretty nice. Maybe I'm thinking the First Order Stormtrooper, but I feel like this looks really good as far as the Stormtrooper aspect. That helmet is so perfect. There is a slight white variant from the helmet to the chest. It's not, I don't know how visible it is on my camera here, but the helmet looks pretty white, and the chest looks slightly yellowed or off-white, as does the belt. Everything else looks like the helmet. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not going to worry too much about it, but this is a great figure. I can see why they're going to be putting out full cases of just this figure, because it's awesome. It gets us the best Stormtrooper we've ever got, let's face it, and really glad we got him. Finally, we have the one actually new figure in this wave. Well, I'm betting maybe some of the parts came from the other figure, like maybe the cape and the gun. But you can see here in the head sculpt, this is the only figure that has the face printing technology in this wave, because it's the only human head in it. Looks pretty good. You can see, you know, it's not, as far as detailing, not a whole lot different from what we got in the Force Link 2.0 version, only he is super articulated now. We can take off his cape, and this is something I noticed. I believe in the Force Link version, the scarf and cape were all one piece, and here the scarf is a separate piece. So we can take that off as well. And see all the articulation we've got underneath. It's interesting, because I don't remember the red sash or belt here that he's got. So I don't know if that was on the other figures. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. He has the same kind of holster for his blaster. Just kind of some loops to kind of shove it through instead of like I'd say it's a real holster. The belt does appear to be a separate piece. I still remember on the Force Link 2.0 version, it was just molded into it. All in all, really nice figure. It's good to get this, because that Lando, like I said, the first one, it's a great callback to the vintage figures, because it was just straight arm, straight legged. But, you know, have that super articulated for your dioramas or whatever is pretty nice to get. And, it's a pretty nice figure. So looking at this wave as a whole, we have, of course, 2 repacks, but 2 repacks we didn't have a vintage card. And the Praetorian is probably one people would like to get extras of, and I think Phasma is deserving of its own vintage card. We get the Chewbacca, which we had not had Chewbacca on a Star Wars card before. And then the Stormtrooper and Lando, Lando being the all-new figure, and Stormtrooper being a figure a lot of people really wanted. A lot of repack parts, a lot of repack pieces here, but still, you know, it's pretty good. And I like the way they packed this. I've got to really say they did this perfectly, to where we have the 3, we'll call them new figures, if you will, being 2 to a case, and then the 2 figures we've gotten fairly recently. Elsewhere, it's just the same figure put on these cards, only 1 to a case, because probably most of us only want 1 of each rather than 2, so that's pretty nice. Although people might want a lot of those Praetorians, I'm not sure. I'm pretty happy with this wave. Pretty nice figures. So grading these figures is interesting, because I think the case assortment's kind of perfect. While we have 2 basic repacks, you could say 3 with that Chewbacca if you want, but it has been a long time since we've seen it. But the 2 repacks are figures we've gotten recently in that form, so just get them on this card is perfect. To not have to buy 2 of them again or anything like that. And the Lando figure's fantastic. The Stormtrooper figure's something that we already wanted. And it's, you know, it's a retool of existing parts, but it's still a great figure to get in there. And the Chewbacca, like I said, it's been a long time. We haven't gotten it on that card, so I guess it's okay in that case. So I kind of look at it that way. I mean, overall, the figures are great. The Chewbacca face is a little wonky, but the rest of the figures were good already. And that Stormtrooper's perfect. The Lando looks great. So overall grading would be at a 90.25, which is an A-, but still really good. Worthwhile getting. Not much face print technology here, but still a good set of figures. So that is my look at the latest wave of the vintage collection action figures. So in all, I think it's a pretty worthwhile case. Yeah, mileage may vary on how you find these. I ordered this through Entertainment Earth a while back. Seems to me pre-ordering a lot of this stuff is the way to go anymore. Finding it in stores just isn't happening as much. And, you know, this might be just the way we get our Star Wars figures now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hoping to do a lot during the summer. School's almost out, so I'm hoping to get a whole lot of new videos out, including that long-promised look at my collection. It'll actually be set up this summer. Everything will be done probably in a month and a half. It should all be done, anyway, by the end of July. And so I'll get to that look. But if there's anything you would like to see, you know, I've got almost every Hasbro item. So if there's something specific you'd like to see me review, I try to do the no-nonsense reviews. Here's the item. Take a look at it. This is what I think of it, that sort of idea. Rather than going through a lot of that, let me open the package in front of you. Personally, I watched a lot of those review videos, and I got bored by that. So that's kind of why I do this. But if there's any improvements you'd like to see me do these videos, I'm looking at doing a new intro, doing some new stuff with that. So if you have any feedback, please feel free to leave it. I'd love to hear from you. Even if it's negative, don't mind. I give negative feedback to students all the time, so that's not a problem for me. I can take it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and you'll join me again for future reviews. Thanks for watching.